Bush was, Reagan took him on as vice president. If it was not for that, and then of course when Reagan left office, they were very disappointed in Bush because he was a very colorless personality,
Right.
and Reagan was a very polished actor, and he was very articulate, and everybody liked him. So Bush was a great disappointment to them, but he carried through, and actually he was fed up with Washington anyway, and so when he decided to run for office himself against Clinton, he made no effort to fight Clinton at all, because he and Clinton were partners in the minute drug operation in Arkansas. They were working together. They weren't rivals at all. And he just more or less stood aside and let Clinton be elected.
Well, and proof of that is the fact, every time you turn around, you're seeing him. I mean, Bill Clinton is almost the son George Bush never had.
Oh, yes. Well, they're still close today. It's an amazing situation.
And I mean, during campaigns, they said terrible things about each other, and they're looking. I saw an interview with them about a year ago, and they're both going, "Oh, we like each other fine." And Clinton's talking about how he goes up to Kennebunkport all the time and hangs out with the Bushes.
Yeah. Well, you see, Clinton is an anomaly himself because he was the son of one of the Rockefellers, Winthrop, and he had Bill Clinton by Bill's mother, and that was never brought out, but it was common knowledge. That's the only reason
Yeah, I didn't know that, but I know that the Harrimans provided the the money and the backing for him.
Oh yes, he had plenty of money backing all the time because he was sort of chosen. I began to read in the New York Times in 1953 about a rising young politician in Arkansas, and for some reason the New York Times was running glowing tales about this wonderful man in Arkansas, and it was Bill Clinton. And so I was reading the New York Times at that time, and I said, "My gosh, they're going to make that man president." I didn't know the rest of his background at that time, but I said, "My gosh, they're going to put this guy in the White House."
Yeah.
Because you don't see the New York Times putting out effort for somebody if they haven't got grand plans for him.
Right.
So that was all preordained that he should be in the White House.
The issue of Zionism in the Patriot movement comes up an awful lot, and the question I've had about Zionism and Zionists, are Zionists the controller of things, or are they just another set of soldiers in this whole cabal that was created by the bankers so many years ago?
Well, that was all created. Zionism was created. You see, the Rothschild family in Frankfurt, Germany, in 1838, they were building up all sorts of things because they were taking over Europe, and so they suddenly came out with Karl Marx in 1838 with the doctrine of communism, and they came out with they got Rabbi Herzl to create the doctrine of Zionism, and then they had Hitler to create Nazism, and Mussolini to create Fascism. All those fascism, Nazism, communism, and Zionism all came out of the Rothschild offices in Frankfurt, Germany.
All the isms, and they so long ago had decided on this one world government, and because again, one world government, it's easier to make money, it's easier to control things.
Oh, it is. The more control you have, the more money you make. You can't have any competition because everything becomes a monopoly. So there's no competition. So the people in power can make all the money they want.
Yeah.
And since they have no competition, they can charge any price they want.
Right.
So it creates an ideal situation.
Yeah.
And they call that capitalism. It's not capitalism at all. It's more communism. But the doctrines of capitalism, communism, Nazism, and fascism, and Zionism are all so close that you can't separate one from the other.
Right.
And it's always the same people running all five systems.
Always. And that's to me, is the most troubling thing, because again, the one thing about it, at least you know who you're fighting in this whole deal.
Because if you don't know who your enemy is, you're helpless.
Right.